This is a Dahon folding bicycle. This is very similar to the Mu model, MU model that they're selling nowadays. It's got 20-inch wheels. I thought 16-inch would be too small. 20-inch, you still get stability, but it folds up pretty small. Got a couple of accessories on it that don't come with it. There's a water bottle cage that Velcros on, and then there's a Bell bike bag on the handlebars. But if we take a close-up look at this, you get adjustable handlebars, a 7-speed Dahon branded shifter. I don't know if somebody makes that for them or if they actually make their own shifters, but it is a Dahon branded shifter with 7 speeds and a grip shifter. And that brake lever controls rim brakes. They are good rim brakes and they stop it real well, but you don't get disc brakes on this. I think honestly with a folding bike, if you're going to put it in the trunk of a car and bang it around, if you had disc brakes, they might get beat up and bent. So this might be a better option if you're really going to fold your bike up and bounce it around in the back of your car. And it has 52 teeth in the front sprocket and 14 to 28 in the rear. Some of their 8-speed models that they come out with now have a lower low gear. And there is a Dahon branded derailleur on the back as well. It's a good look at the back wheel. And the frame is aluminum. You can also see how wide the wheel is. That is, if you wanted to switch it to belt drive or e-bike, you could. You can see this doesn't have a triangle frame in the back. So that means if you wanted to convert it to belt drive, you could. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but if I wanted to, you definitely could. Whereas with a traditional triangle frame, you'd have to split the frame. The seat is super comfortable. I rode it 20 miles on the day I shot this video and my butt was happy. So happy with the seat. And it's got Well-Go folding pedals on it that fold down like that to make it a little bit slimmer when you put it in the back of your car. And special Dahon edition Kenda Quest tires on it. They're 20-inch by 1.5. And I find them to be fast, but you still get a little bit of shock absorption from them. So I think that's a good compromise size. And this particular model is the Piazza Dahon. I bought it brand new just now off of eBay from a bike shop. We've been having it in storage for 4 years. So they don't make this model anymore, but they make something called the Mu that looks exactly like it. The maximum weight is 230 pounds. So if you're fatty 2x4, you can ride it. If you're fatty bumbalatti, you might need a bigger, heavier bike. They do make bikes with a higher capacity. And it has mounting points for fenders and a luggage rack. So you can do fenders front and rear and a luggage rack, and they're about $35 from Dahon. And then the front handlebars move up and down. And this is what a 6'1", 200-pound person looks like on the bike. This is me with 13 size shoes. So tall guy with big feet and the handlebar in the full upright position. I find it very comfortable. Here's a look at how those big feet produce power. So it feels like a normal bike until you look down and then you feel like a circus clown, but everything fits, everything moves, and you really do feel like you're on a real bike. It's not too twitchy. I think the 16-inch wheel ones would be a little too twitchy for me. This one's, it turns quicker than a regular bike, but you don't feel weird riding it. It feels pretty normal. And on the scale, it comes out pretty light for what it is with all those hinges and stuff. It is under 26 pounds. You see 25.82 pounds there on my luggage scale. So to fold up this Dahon folding e-bike, first I put it in low gear to get the derailleur at its lowest point. Then you move the handlebar to the correct folding position with that little red dot. So line up that red dot right there at the top of the tube so it'll fold properly. Lift up the quick release on the top of the handlebars like that and fold the brake levers down and then lock it back into place. And then turn the seat backwards and push it all the way down at the bottom. It's going to act kind of like a foot for the bike. And then flip the seat all the way down and backwards like that. And then to kick up the kickstand, fold down the folding pedals. That's how they fold. That's how they unfold. And then loosen the frame splitting latch. It's got a little safety on it that you need to lift up. So you lift that up and use that to split the frame. And then when you put it back together, you got to make sure you put that safety back on like that so it doesn't split in half while you're riding it. Same thing on the front. You release the handlebar release and lower the handlebars down like that. So there's a little safety on there, and then you pull that lever down and the handlebars will come down. And then split it in half, and the magnet in the middle is going to hold the two sides together, that little magnet, and then you are done. Now, let's see how long it takes me to put it back together with minimal edits. So you open it up, lock the frame splitter into place, put the kickstand down, turn the seat around forwards, put it up to your desired height, and then lift up the handlebars, lock them into place, make sure you put the safety on, and then rotate the handlebars forward, set it to your desired riding height so that it's fitting you properly, and then click the pedals out and you are finished. And here's how small it looks in the back of the Prius. So you can see I've got the luggage cover there that it fits under, so nobody will know that it's in there, so they won't steal it. And I've got about half of my luggage capacity left over there so that I can carry groceries on the right side and bicycle on the left. I suppose I could stand it up to make room for more luggage if I wanted to, and I've got it locked in there with a lock as well so it doesn't fly loose and hit me in the back of the head if I get into an accident. All right, now I'm out here in these streets. And out in the streets, I'm running about 35 pounds of pressure, which feels perfect for my size and weight. It sucks up the bumps well. It's still controllable, and I can still go pretty fast. We'll do a time trial at the end of this, but this was Sunset Boulevard, and Hollywood Boulevard was closed down for a big bike ride, so it's perfect to kind of get onto the cracks and bumps and potholes of LA. I think the squishy seat helps quite a bit, too. So the tires, combined with the long wheelbase, combined with the squishy seat, really makes it as comfortable as just about any bike, versus I thought it would be a compromise. I thought it would be a lot more, I'd feel every bump, but you really don't on this thing. It does feel a little easier to turn, a little twitchier than a regular bike, but not by much. So I don't feel like I'm giving up that much either. You can actually turn quicker, and it's still under control when you're going high speeds. So in traffic with a bunch of old people and little kids and people at varying speeds, it really wasn't safe to do a time trial here. So after I was done riding through Hollywood and participating in this big bike party, I went down to the beach and ran a time trial, which was 1 mile going north on the beach and then another mile going south. And we'll average the two out just in case the wind was a factor. So my northbound average speed was 16.35 miles per hour, and then I turned around and headed south, and I got 17.6 miles an hour. If you divide the two, you get 16.975, so almost 17 miles an hour, which means the big gear is big enough to go fast, and it's also a good enough speed to get my heart cranking. So if you wanted to bring this bike with you on trips and use it for exercise, it definitely is geared well enough for that if you're an average person like me. So overall, it's a great thing to have in the trunk of your car at all times. I actually have another one, and I've saved a bunch of money by, park a mile away from the stadium or 2 miles and ride it in rather than paying $50 or $20 for parking. And just getting around town or always having this in the back of your car, I think, is a thing of great value. And Dahon makes a good quality bike. You can buy cheaper generic ones, but on this one, the beauty is that all the parts are built to last a long time and work together. So I will put a link in the description if you want one of these. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and stay riding.